So, good morning, children. Let us continue our session. So, yesterday we were discussing in our live session regarding the importance of water, and we also just ended up with the statement that this water is nowadays getting spoiled or contaminated. Now, what uh, factors make this water or what causes the water contamination? Now, it is natural but as well as man-made. Now, natural impact of water contamination is not so severe when compared to the contamination caused by various human activities. Now, if you see in this picture, there are many activities of human which are leading to contamination of water. For example, take up the first and the foremost, the agricultural practices. What are those agricultural practices which are affecting the which are affecting the water bodies? That is the usage of these pesticides and fertilizers. Now, these pesticides and fertilizers, they are sprayed in excess. Most of it, they are unused by plant bodies. So once when they are dissolved in water, they just seep into the huge water bodies. If they remain undissolved, they just settle down on the soil, even causing the soil contamination. Then another most important reason for contamination are industrial activities. So these wastage which comes from the industries will be dumped directly into the huge water bodies. Not only that, we also use these water bodies as a cooling agent in many industries. So thereby what happens, they will they will use the water for cooling and then again discharge that water, hot water, into these water bodies, which is going to disturb the temperature, which also causes the spoilage or damage to the living organisms. Similarly, even the waste which is produced in our houses, the domestic waste, the hospital waste, is also one of the major factor of water contamination. Then of course many hazardous waste, the chemicals from various factories are all going to lead to the contamination of water. Now this water which gets contaminated will have a major impact on our body, not only on our body, every living organisms. Now just we will discuss them under 6 major points. The first impact will be the contamination caused by pesticides, which results in the allergies, skin allergies, and as well as the bowel inflammation. Then nutrients. Now, which are now as we are supplying this excess amount of fertilizers and pesticides, this may lead to the fertilizers which are applied to the plant bodies, which may lead to water, the excess amount of nutrients present in the water bodies, which in turn will when it is consumed, which will lead to digestive problems. Then sewage waste which is dumped is the major source of diseases caused by bacteria like cholera, dysentery, okay, the hepatitis, which is caused through water bodies, are due to the dumping of sewage waste. Then similarly arsenic, okay, which are used in various industries, can lead to water organ failures, cramping, and even vomiting of blood. Then salt, we all know though salt is good, excess amount of salt in our body will lead to other side effects like cholesterol, high blood pressure, and diabetes. Then lead is going to have a severe impact, which is used in the paper industry, will have a severe impact on our health, leading to memory loss, nervous system basically, then headache, nausea, and damage to our kidney. Now these are the general impact of the water pollution. Now all those we can categorize or sum up into 3 groups. One, what kind of effect will it have on the water? What activity? Now the first and the foremost activity will be the addition of undesirable substances. And we have discussed earlier what are those undesirable substances: the pesticides, the dumping of the salts like mercury and lead, which are used in paper industries. Then the hospital and domestic sewage, which is a major cause of bacterial infections, especially cholera, typhoid, okay, typhoid. These are caused by this sewage waste. So this is the first will be due to water, due to the addition of, and all these substances are termed as what, children? The undesirable substances. When we are talking about addition of undesirable substances, definitely we are also removing some desirable substances from the water bodies. And what are those desirable substances which are removed from the water bodies? Oxygen and nutrients. Now, how does it happen? How we are removing this oxygen? Now, this all is caused due to a process called as eutrophication. What is this eutrophication? It is nothing but the deposition of the waste, so gradual deposition of the waste in the water bodies, which what will have? They will be settling down as water sediments. Now, when they settle down in the sediments, they start decaying. And when they decay, they lead to increase in the population of the algae community. Now, when these algae grow in excess, it leads to a condition called as algal bloom. Now, you see in this picture, children, very often you must have seen in stagnant water, in larger stagnant water bodies, wherein this green layer would be formed. And what is this called as? Algal bloom or scum. Now, this will block the entry of sunlight. And when there is a blockage of entry of sunlight, not only animals are affected, but even plants are affected. Hence, they cannot perform photosynthesis, and hence no liberation of oxygen. So, it gradually decreases the oxygen content in the water bodies, because most of the oxygen will be consumed by these algal blooms and also the unwanted weeds. Now, gradually, as these start decaying in the water bodies, the nutrients which are present in our water body will also get depleted. Apart from it, one more effect of water contamination is the change in temperature. Now, this change in temperature, as I told you, how the temperature of the water bodies changes, because nowadays industries are using these source water as a coolant agent. So what they do is, when they use this water as a coolant agent, that heat from those chemical processes is absorbed by water, and this hot water is again released back into these water bodies. And when they are released back into the water bodies, the sudden rise in the temperature will disturb the life forms, especially the animals, okay, the fishes, the corals, okay, and the other life forms and their young ones, the larvae, the eggs, which must have been ready to hatch, will get destroyed due to this uneven increase in the temperature. And the very visible impact is seen on the corals. Now, if you see the Great Barrier Reef of Australia, which is famous for the beautiful corals, is now slowly getting affected by this increase in the temperature. Okay, children. And then one more is the salmon fishes. One of the varieties of this salmon fishes are also getting affected by this change in temperature. Okay, children. So, today we have discussed about water, how the water will have an impact on the life forms. So, in the next session, we'll start about the another important abiotic component. What is that? Soil. Okay, children. So, today please kindly go through this. Thank you. Have a good day.